gold medalist have begun. Agnes was found dead at her home in Iten in Elgeyo Marakwet County with a stab wound on her neck.
Now, the sports fraternity is in mourning tonight. World beater Agnes Tirop was found dead today.
On the 13th October 2021, the world woke up to the most astonishing news. Agnes Tirop had been brutally killed 5 weeks after winning women's only 10 kilometers marathon. Her husband, Ibrahim Rotich, currently standing trial, was accused of her murder. The subsequent claims about the abusive nature of her marriage opened many people's eyes to an issue that plagues many young female athletes in Kenya. You are watching Lily's Rams. Our stories have been carefully researched using open source and archive materials. Our stories are based on true crimes and real people. Each episode is produced with the utmost respect to the victims, their families, and loved ones. Agnes Jebet Tirop was born on 23rd October 1995. She was a Kenyan professional long-distance runner. She won bronze medals in the 10,000 meters at the 2017 and 2019 World Athletics Championships, at the 2015 IAAF World Cross Country Championships. Tirop became the second youngest ever gold medalist in the women's race, after Zola Bad. At the time of her death in 2021, she was the world record holder in the 10 kilometers women-only events. Agnes Tirop was the 7th born in her family of 10 children. Her parents were Dina Tirop and Vincent Tirop. Agnes was described by her parents as a very calm child and someone who loved her family dearly. She was very passionate about running, and she knew that certainly she would become the best marathoner of all times. Her dedication made her even run without shoes, and she eventually won in all the races that she participated in. Tirop's love for running began when she was 11 years. At that time, she was as fast as athletes twice her age. She loved running and she shined. Even as a child, she was self-possessed with a singular focus on improving her speed. Tirop came from a very big family. Her father, Vincent, had been a long-distance runner in his youth, but found it difficult to earn a living from the sport. Instead, each day he bought milk from local farmers and took it by bicycle to sell at the market in the city of Eldoret. Despite having little money, Vincent saved 5 liters of milk every week for his children so that they would have the nutrition they needed in order to train. Her brother Martin recalls them being very dirty and poor, and the reason they started running because of poverty. Several children showed an early interest for the sport, but it was clear that Tirop was special. She began training in primary school, running barefoot on the roads in her village. Tirop always wanted to put on bouncy Kalenjin music before practice. At a young age, she was already beating senior athletes. At 15, Tirop won the 5,000 meter race at a national junior competition. Later that year, she flew to South Africa for an international junior race and came in second. When she returned home, her family threw her a party, serving meat and rice and playing music for hours. It was her first time out of the country, and her family felt very happy and proud. Agnes was determined to build her family a house and support her family members by paying school fees for her siblings. When Tirop was in secondary school, she met a man named Ibrahim Rotich, who was about 15 years older. Rotich was a big, charming man, and he offered to manage and coach Tirop. Tirop already had a coach, and Rotich seemed to be a good one. Tirop accepted his offer. Tirop's sister later observed Rotich driving her around, acting like her coach. Rotich had stated that he had invested heavily in preparing Tirop to be the champion she was, and by supporting her athletics career and being by her side. Rotich was very dedicated to see Tirop succeed, probably because he also knew he would benefit from her running career. In 2014, Tirop won the African Cross Country Championship in Uganda. The next year, she won the World Athletics Cross Country Championship in China, the youngest winner of that race in 30 years. Tirop soon dropped out of school. Her parents protested, suspecting that Rotich was to blame. Tirop loved studying languages, especially Kiswahili. She was almost finishing with secondary school. The family complained to local authorities that she had left school without their permission, but Rotich and Tirop had fled to town, eventually moving to Iten. Nahashon Kibon, Tirop's first coach, warned her about becoming romantically involved with Rotich. This upset Tirop, and she and Kibon went their separate ways. In 2016, she and Rotich married in secret, according to court documents. Rotich discouraged her from talking to her parents. Rotich was controlling Agnes. She had opted to share with her friends about Rotich controlling her. Agnes was not permitted to mingle with other people. Rotich would even accompany her for training. It was like she was living in prison. In mid-2017, Tirop got pregnant. She was very happy, and she even shared the news with her friend, hoping to get advice on how she would be able to balance motherhood and her running career. Rotich asked her to abort the baby, despite Tirop wanting to keep the child. Tirop's friend and family members began to worry that she was falling into a pattern that was disturbingly common among female runners in Iten. Husbands expect money from the female runners. It is therefore clear that Rotich only married Agnes Tirop because she could finance him. Around 2018, Tirop reconnected with her family, and she had Martin, her elder brother, work as her pacemaker. However, Rotich was always working around closely and monitoring her. In September 2021, Tirop and a group of Kenyan runners traveled to Germany. Tirop was there to compete in the Adizero Road to Records organized by Adidas. By this time, she was one of the most successful runners in Kenya. In August, Tirop had completed in the 5,000-meter race at the Olympics in Tokyo and taken the fourth place. In Germany, she competed in the 10,000-meter and finished in an astonishing 30 minutes and 1 second. She had broken the world record. At the end, Tirop, covered in sweat and wrapped in a huge Kenyan flag, said, "I am so happy." Before the trip, Tirop had asked Martin to meet her and their elder sister Eve on the road between Eldoret and Iten. Tirop told her siblings that she wanted to leave Rotich. She said that he had been spending her money at bars while she was away, and that she was tired of it. He had become convinced that Tirop was having an affair, perhaps with a childhood friend who was now an Olympian. Rotich had grown paranoid about his relationship with Tirop and was harassing him. Soon, Rotich arrived in a rage with 2 police officers. Rotich claimed that Tirop had stolen the car, and the family went to the police station to settle the matter. The officers realized who Tirop was, and they left her to go. Before they left, a female police officer warned her to be very careful because Rotich seemed dangerous. Tirop went to stay with her parents. She told her siblings that Rotich had hit her. She told Martin that he had threatened to burn the house down if she left him. She had told others about Rotich's behavior too. In 2021, she told Milka Chemos, an athlete representative from Athletics Kenya, which oversees the sport in the country, that Rotich had abused her. Chemos seemed focused on reconciling the couple and on making sure that Tirop's training was not interrupted. It was clear that every time athletes who are victims of domestic abuse and violence went to report at Athletics Kenya, they would be dismissed and asked to go and sort their things in private. Before her trip to Germany, Tirop went back to Iten to resume her training. She moved into a guest house at the training camp. In October, after the race, Rotich came to the camp and Tirop agreed to go back home with him. Eve, her sister, went with them and spent the night in the spare room. The next day, Rotich told Eve that he and Tirop were going to Nairobi for a competition. Eve had no choice but to leave. Later that day, she could not reach Tirop. Rotich picked up the phone and told Eve that she was not around. The next morning, Tirop was discovered stabbed and beaten to death in her home in Iten. Rotich had fled, leaving a note confessing to the crime and saying that the relationship had been full of fights. Police found a knife and a club at the scene. Rotich later admitted in an affidavit to killing Tirop, but pleaded not guilty to her murder, claiming that he was provoked into killing her because he believed she was having an affair with her childhood friend. Rotich said that Tirop had received a call which she put on loudspeaker and had a very demeaning conversation about him with her lover, which took him to the edge and prompted him to do the act. After the killing, Rotich claimed that he temporarily lost his mind and kept driving aimlessly until he got to Mombasa. Well, it is not proved that Rotich and Tirop were arguing because Tirop was cheating on Rotich. Rotich was arrested a day after Tirop's body was found. According to Tirop's family, Rotich was listed as the owner of several of the couple's properties. This sheds a light to how Rotich was manipulating Tirop into making sure that she does not give birth to any child who could be an heir, and that Rotich remained the only and the sole person who was to inherit Tirop's wealth and property wholly. Tirop's abuse seemed to be an open secret. By the time she completed in the Olympics, they had started to see a difference in her. She was wearing acrylic nails and red lipstick, and her hair was plaited. She seemed to be gathering the confidence to finally leave Rotich. She seemed to have gained her freedom and her independence. She seemed to know the woman she was. In October 2021, the night before Tirop's death, a 27-year-old runner named Edith Muthoni, who lived east of Nairobi, was killed. Her throat was slit with a machete. This highlights the plight of female runners in Kenya. Now, many female runners come to Iten in search of an opportunity, and men often, with few real qualifications, offer to coach them. The trend is that these young girls get into relationships with older athletes or trainers who offer them protection against other predators. But over time, it is those same protectors who begin to abuse them. When female athletes begin to make money, their male partners control their winnings. Mostly, husbands often have control of female runners' accounts. They are often beaten up, yelled at, abused physically and emotionally if they fail to win the races and if they fail to give the men the money. They are also abused if they fail to give details about their bank accounts. Their husbands also insist on having joint accounts so that they monitor the flow of the money. And most of the time, as the women are running the marathons, the men are left squandering money with women and with activities such as drinking alcohol. 1 in 3 women in Kenya has experienced a gender-based violence. According to a survey released, teen pregnancy and early marriages are common with women who are runners. And when women marry, they traditionally have little power in the household. They are regarded as inferior, and the men are the superior ones. They are subjected to a lot of torture and abuse, as they are regarded to have no say in the society. Olympic gold medalist Vivian Cheruiyot told another paper that her husband, Moses Kiplagat, had taken control of her properties, including gas stations and farm land, and that she was subjected to abuse which was physical and psychological. The post-mortem by two pathologists at the 10 County Referral Hospital mortuary revealed that Tirop had suffered neck stabs and was hit on the head with a blunt object, therefore explaining the murder weapons which were on the scene, that is, a club and a knife. Rotich was identified as the prime suspect as he was on the run after making a tearful call to his family, confessing that he had done something terrible and that he wished that his family would forgive him. The act is later what is Tirop's fate. He was arrested alongside another man who he was traveling with and had Tirop's mobile phone with him. Authorities believe a domestic altercation occurred and Tirop was stabbed, as they also found her car windows had been shattered. Before his arrest, Rotich had been involved in a lengthy high-speed chase, trying to flee the country, and ultimately rammed his getaway vehicle into a lorry near Mombasa. He was subsequently arrested and questioned about Tirop's death. Tirop kept complaining about Rotich being violent to her. Tirop even feared that one day her husband would kill her. At one point, he threatened that he would break her legs, maybe to stop her from running. It was clear that Rotich was very, very jealous about Tirop's success, and therefore he felt intimidated, and that is why he kept on issuing threats and even assaulting her. It was clear that she was going through a very difficult marriage. It is possible that Rotich also killed Tirop because of her wealth, which was under his name. This is the utmost manipulation. Of course, Tirop seems to have been manipulated, and since earlier on she had been asked by Rotich to abort his baby, then it meant that he wanted to remain the sole owner of his property and his wealth, not even considering that Tirop's parents were still alive and they needed that property and wealth. 2 days before Tirop was killed, Rotich had allegedly attacked her in the wee hours of the morning, leaving her terrified with a swollen cheek. Tirop was going through it all in her marriage. This is one person which she had trusted with all she had. She had entrusted her to become her coach and later fell in love with her and became her wife, his wife. But eventually, what Tirop got was a gruesome murder. Her father, Vincent Tirop, mentioned that though Rotich lived with his daughter, he had never sought the family's blessing to marry her, as Kalenjin tradition dictates. Instead, he made her quit school and eloped with her illegally. This is a clear indication that Rotich was a narcissist who was not going to help Tirop in her career. Instead, he wanted to use her and get her finances. Tirop was laid to rest at the age of 25. She was buried on the day she would have turned 26. Mourners, including fellow athletes, lined up to scatter flowers on a white coffin. A picture of Tirop grinning and holding up a bronze medal was placed on top of the coffin. We hope that Tirop rests in peace and she is served the justice that she deserves. I have been your host, Lily's Rams. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.